This is the Egyptian desert of the pharaohs, 200,000 square kilometres of rock and sand. It's a barren, austere landscape, the kind of place where you might expect to find a time-ravaged pyramid or two, a fragment of papyrus, or uncover some ancient tombs. But I'm in search of a different kind of buried treasure. Some of the great masterpieces of early Christian painting, obscured by centuries of neglect, have recently been rediscovered here. And they truly are among the artistic wonders of the world.
Can I go in?
Yes, please, go ahead.
It's incredible.
Protected by soot and grime for over 700 years, this exceptionally powerful image of the apocalypse, the Day of Judgment, has a transfixing, dreamlike quality. It's like nothing else, certainly nothing in the more familiar medieval or Renaissance traditions of art. Yet it's evidently a work of genius, a masterpiece of mystic surrealism. But as I've discovered during my odyssey around the Mediterranean, these dazzling but barely known examples of the artistic accomplishments of early Christendom are far from unique. In churches, temples and holy places, there are other outstanding works of early Christian art that deserve to be more fully appreciated. Paintings, mosaics and painted glass produced during 1,000 years and more, from the classical period to the Renaissance, that still suffer from an unfair degree of neglect. Many were created by men whose names have been lost or were never recorded, and so have never acquired the cult of celebrity of later artists like Michelangelo or Van Gogh. In this series, I want to look at these ancient works anew. I want to celebrate early Christian art in its own right, to explore what was itself a golden age.
This is Old Cairo, a city built on the site of the ancient Roman fortress of Babylon. It's home to the Copts, one of the most ancient Christian communities in the world, and one that's still very much thriving.
Today is the feast of St. George, celebrated like many saints' days here by a special mass and procession. It reminds me a bit of the Catholic festivals of southern Italy, but with even more incense and the volume turned up.
I think what's really striking about the procession is not just the fervency of the faith that it seems to express, but the friendliness and the festivity of the whole event. I was really struck by this amazing ululatory wailing that goes on. I can't do it. I'll have to try and get someone to teach me how to do that. So it expresses joy.
Yes.
No, I was curious because it sounded almost like it might be wailing, you know, that you're still lamenting the martyrdom of George. How do you do it? Can you just show me how you do it?
Yes, I can.
Would you mind?
Okay, no, I never mind. No.
Okay, go on. I'll count to 3. 1, 2, 3, go. Wow, that's the expression of joy. Yes. Thank you very much.
Not at all.
Cheers.
During times of persecution, the extreme joy offered by their faith was often all they had. A people only 5 million strong, the Copts never inherited or built an empire, unlike the Christians of Byzantium or Rome. And while most of the time they've been tolerated and often flourished, under first Byzantine and then Islamic rulers. They've never felt completely safe, even today. And so their churches, including this one, the famous Hanging Church of Coptic Cairo, are nothing like grand basilicas or cathedrals, but are hidden and veiled, intimate, almost homely. They feel like sanctuaries, hiding places, where you can truly feel the spirit of the saints, saints who are as real today to the Copts as when they lived hundreds of years ago. The best place to see the art that this intense spirituality has produced is the Coptic Museum. Its sprawling collection reflects nearly 2,000 years of Coptic history, going all the way back to the founding of the church in Egypt in the 1st century, traditionally by St. Mark himself. And pride of place goes to this 4th century version of the Psalms of David in the Coptic language, the earliest and only complete manuscript of the Psalms.
I think this battered book, it looks like it's an object that survived from a fire. It's a symbol not just of how the Egyptians still treasure the relics of early Coptic Christianity, but I think it's also a symbol for me of the Coptic art tradition as a whole, because it is a battered tradition, a tradition that's had to live through persecution, through the migration of populations. It's amazing in a way that anything survives at all. But here in the Coptic Museum, we can experience that tradition, albeit only in fragments, rather like the pages of this battered book. But we can see just what an extraordinary art tradition resulted from it.
To the Copts, just as precious as the word is the image. In another room I found the earliest surviving wall paintings from the 6th century. Coptic art's a reminder of just how much can be achieved within a simplified style.
What strikes me about them, apart from just these very vivid faces, is the intimacy of the scale. I mean, these really are images designed for one-to-one contemplation. They're images that I think were in the monastic cells. And although you couldn't describe them as masterpieces, they have got this tremendously vivid, Picasso would have called it, I suppose, primitive power. In fact, this scene of the Madonna suckling the infant Christ has got something of a Picasso about it. It's such a primal image of the basic act of a woman suckling her child, but also an image of the way in which the Christian faith is nourishing the people who sustain it. Perhaps the most striking thing about Coptic art is the way in which the artists represent these eyes, these extraordinary staring eyes, often with the white that you can see all the way around them. And there's something peculiarly transfixing about their gaze. It's not a gaze that addresses you. It doesn't look at you. It seems to look through you. And you have this very strong sense that these people, perhaps like those who worshipped before them, are fixed on the idea and the image, not of this life, but of the life to come.
The Coptic art tradition is essentially mysterious. So much has been lost during centuries of persecution and destruction that it's all but impossible to piece together the different stages of its development. But there is some intriguing evidence to suggest where its earliest origins lie. But for that, I had to leave old Cairo and travel across town to the modern city.
Left.
I'd been granted an appointment by the art historian who was in charge of all the museums and antiquities in Egypt, and I definitely didn't want to be late. But the driver seemed to have other ideas.